those who have joined on time, with respect, we must start it on time. So it's 11:02 and we are starting this. Thanks everyone for joining once again, and welcome to our first webinar from the Setu School. It's related to monetizing ChatGPT. Before we start, I would love to give a small 60 seconds introduction what Setu is and why suddenly you're hearing this name and joining this webinar. Setu is a very new entry in the edtech world. We want to solve one specific problem statement. When I was on the industry side, I have faced, all my colleagues face, I think each one of you face it, is finding the good talents that meet the requirement of the industry. And that is the only single pointed problem that we are trying to solve, to bring the best talents who are trained talents as per the emerging demand, because industry demands are constantly changing. And the kind of learning that we had yesterday doesn't actually work tomorrow. And therefore, how can we stay ahead of the curve? How can we stay relevant in the industry? That's the single pointed work that we are doing. How we are doing it? Two ways that we perform. One, we collaborate with corporates. Many of you are coming from different organizations. We collaborate with the corporate and train the in-house talents, because it's not possible that always you go and hire new talents. That's not possible. So how can you upskill, reskills your in-house talents? That either could be in the form of the new freshers who are joining in the organizations, we can train them. The mid-managers, senior functional leaders, all actually can be trained for upskilling, reskilling, bringing the best fundamental knowledges for them. The other side, we also, and particularly if any one of you from the institute organization side, any academia perspective, we also collaborate with academia to ensure before the students are going and joining the industry pool, can we build that talent so well that industry will be very interested to absorb those talent. And then on the industry side, the cost, time, effort, investment are reduced. So with that, today's point is monetizing ChatGPT. There are enough hype. I don't want to talk about it. I want to welcome Anish, Dr. Anish Roy Chaudhary. He's our Chief Learning Officer. He has a 20+ years of industry experience. On top of that, he's an excellent academician. He has played roles in multiple top B schools as the best global professor, best global academic trainer. So we are very happy to have him as our Chief Learning Officers at Setu. And welcome, Dr. Anish. Please join and, please take the stage. It's all over to you now.
Thanks, Jenny, and good morning, all of you. Warm welcome to Setu's ChatGPT webinar. As Ujjani already mentioned, the philosophy behind Setu, I'm not going to go over that, but rather what I'm going to talk about is why we are here today and what we are going to discuss and what is it that we will cover in this webinar. So when we kind of proposed this idea on LinkedIn, we received a lot of feedback from people that they really wanted to have this kind of a session. And we got inputs from students, freshers, leaders, practitioners that, okay, this is going to be a great thing to have. Please also include some use cases, some backgrounds, try to make it hands-on. So it's a mix of everything, but let me come to kind of an objective of what we're going to cover. So we'll start off real quick with checking whether you have your prerequisites in place, and we'll jump on real quick to some ChatGPT use cases. We'll also try to understand at a very high level, what is the magic, or rather what is the math going on behind the background, and a very brief background on this mysterious term called transformers. Then we'll hop on to some more use cases, and we'll end the webinar with, what's current, what's happening, what's next to come. Okay, so I think Ujjini's already mentioned about us, but you can find more about our founding team at www.setuschool.com/about. I leave that to you after the webinar to go check us and read more about our team. Okay, so for this particular webinar, for the last month and a half, and let me pull it back to say 2 months back while I was still teaching a class in programming and one of my postgraduate classes in Sydney with SPJN, we were discussing that, sir, can we use ChatGPT to do our homework? And then it struck me, well, no, but let's see what ChatGPT can do. And there we tried and saw that, well, yeah, it can generate homeworks nicely. So bang, there goes faculty's nightmare starts. You can't give any homework in programming because you'll probably get it created by ChatGPT. With that, we started researching on, okay, let's see what else we can do. We know that it can solve your homeworks, fine. What else can it do? And is it a risk today to hand over such capabilities to the public, and that too for free from OpenAI? As Elon Musk rightly pointed out, we are not far from dangerously strong AI. But on the good side, it's also a huge step to democratize AI in its truest sense. That is, AI should not be for the data scientists only. AI should be for everybody, for every sphere, for every profile, be it the researcher, be it the PhD student, be it an analyst, be it a fresher, be it an HR, be it a legal professional or a finance person. AI should be for everybody, and you did not know coding to apply AI. That's the truest sense of democratization. So we are going to walk through that journey of democratization as well. Now, let's take a quick poll, folks. All those who have registered would have got an email which would have guided you to have an OpenAI account and also guided you to have an API key. Can we have a quick poll from the admin side to just check, where we are on this one? Go ahead, guys. You can just plug in the poll, yes or no, and we will be able to see the scores real time, and we'll take a call. We have about 50 participants who are in the call right now, 48, 49, that kind of a number. And let's see. It's almost close to 80% of. It's almost close to 80% of the folks who have the account. So that's good thing. So for those who don't have the account, do not worry. You have the deck with you, which you can use to get the OpenAI account, and that's fine. I'm just going to quickly browse through this. So you go to OpenAI homepage, and then basically you go there and you log in, create your login basically in ChatGPT, and you create your account. Once you sign up, you will get an email. You check your email, enter some very basic details, and press continue. And you have your validation code sent to you. You type your validation code, and your account is ready. And then you come to the ChatGPT page, which is this prompt page. I guess a lot of you have already experienced this prompt page. There is another step, which is an API key, which you will need only for the Excel use case, for nothing else. So we will skip that for now, and we'll proceed with the rest of the stuff. Okay. So first of all, what is ChatGPT, right? That's the first question we want to ask. Well, let's ask ChatGPT itself what ChatGPT is. So I have written here a prompt, which you can see. What is ChatGPT? Explain in simple technical terms, right? And this is the output which I get from ChatGPT, which says that it's an AI model developed by OpenAI, and it's a GPT 3.0 architecture. It uses deep learning, blah, blah, blah. It converses with humans. It's trained on vast amount of text data, and all of that. So that's a simple but technical answer all the same. Now, what I want you guys to do, those who have the ChatGPT account, go to OpenAI and ask the same question and say, what is ChatGPT? Please explain to a layman. and then see that your response is going to be slightly different from this one. So you're going to type, what is ChatGPT explain for a layman on your ChatGPT prompt window. Can we take a minute and do this exercise, folks? So basically, I'm asking you to go here essentially and type, what is ChatGPT explain for a layman? And then you will see that, you know, it gives you a little more detailed explanation of what ChatGPT is, right? The prompt I had on my deck was explained in simple technical terms, but now it's explaining for a layman, and you get a little bit larger example. Okay, I'll let you guys try it out on your own. Now, we'll quickly come to the section where I quickly guide you to get your ChatGPT API key. You go to platform.openai.com. So https platform.openai.com/account/API-keys. Once you go there, you will get a tab here which says API key and create your new secret key. Once you create your new secret key, you are supposed to copy the key and keep it in a notepad or somewhere where it's easily recoverable, because you may need it in some of the applications. We'll come to those later. Okay. Now, let's jump right into the monetization part. Let's try to see, can we make money out of it here? Okay, so let's go forward and see whether we can see any money or not. Okay. Now, this is the first use case we are going to start with. Okay, the use case is as follows. A lot of you may be reading the news online, and a lot of you may be following financial news. Okay, now you may know that, you know, any news in the financial market which is upsetting or positive or negative does affect their stock prices, their index values. It's a well-known theory, right? Now, a big task in the financial modeling world is to see, okay, Abhik Sarkar had API. Yes, you can create one more, no problem, or you can see if you can reuse that. If it's expired, you can create one more. Don't worry about the API key. Only for the Excel would you need it. For the rest of the use cases, you don't need an API key, and you can always try that after the webinar. So you need not worry if you don't have an API key fresh. Okay, so going ahead with this one, guys, a lot of people are trying to do this ML modeling as we speak right now. And the ML modeling is as follows. People are trying to scrape news articles. They are running complex NLP, NER codes where they're trying to extract the financial entities. Then they're writing complex sentiment analysis codes to give a sentiment to the entity, and that is a feed to their ML predictive model on whether the stock prices will go up or go down. Now, all of those steps involved quite a heavy duty of natural language processing, named entity recognition, sentiment analysis, all of this stuff. The deal is, could we get ChatGPT to do it, right? Could we get ChatGPT to give us the sentiment directly? Now, here is a prompt I have, folks, which says as follows. Please analyze the article below and present a sentiment score on the entity on a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being the highest positive sentiment. Of course, you have to paste the text of the article. Now, we do have with us a text which is a scraped news, and our administrators will share that in the chat for you. So you want to try that out, go ahead and try it live and see if ChatGPT can actually give you an entity and a score with that. Now, while you guys are trying that out, let me give you some very, very interesting development. Okay, this slide I created 3 days back. Believe it or not, this is when I created this slide, 3 days from today. And when I pasted this article, I got Lloyds Bank, Bank of England, Thomson Reuters with some score. Let's assume that it's a relative grading and it's some score which we got. Okay. Now, the fun part is I want you to try this out and see whether you get the score or not. So I am expecting that you may get something different. Okay, I am waiting here for you to try. I want at least one person to reply whether you got the scores and the entities or did you get something else. So go ahead, let me see at least somebody put something in chat. Yeah, the prompt text, yes. Can we please have the prompt text also, please, in the chat? If not, request the or I can even send it for you, no problem. So let me do that, because this is very interesting. The prompt text here, I'm just copying the prompt text for you guys and I'm pasting it in chat. Please try it out, and where it said paste text of article, cut it and paste the text of the article. Okay, what I want you guys to see is ChatGPT giving the same result or not? Okay, that's what I want you to check. Now, while you are checking that, let me tell you some developments happening on the ChatGPT side of the world. The free value of ChatGPT is getting curtailed as we speak, which means there is a chance, first of all, if you type this, you are not going to get the same output. Maybe you will not even get the sentiment score. But I want you to see, you can't copy the text from the chat. Okay, I think you should be able to copy. Copy option is disabled. Okay. What I will show you guys is, I will show you this here. Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you guys here, and we'll see what happens. So I have posted this text here, which says that what I want ChatGPT to do. And in case you can't copy the article, that is fine, because I have the article with me, and I can absolutely paste it and show it for you, and you guys can do it offline. So that is not a problem. Okay, that is not a problem. So I have it actually copied here, and I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to paste it right here, and I'm going to ask it to generate. So let's see what happens. Okay, see guys, this is exactly what I wanted to show today. It's just saying Lloyds Bank, and it says that the sentiment score associated with these entities cannot be determined accurately. Now, believe me, I have done this exercise 3 days back. And when I tried this yesterday, it was not giving me the sentiment score. So what I'm trying to say is, the time this deck was prepared and today, there's just a 2 days gap, and we are seeing that ChatGPT is not giving the output. The proof of the pudding is here. I have a screenshot from ChatGPT where it was actually giving me the scores, and it was identifying 3 entities, not just Lloyds Bank. The same input went in, and it's just saying it cannot calculate sentiment score. It has actually done it 3 days back, but today it's saying it cannot. Now, here is one more. There is a disclaimer to this. This prompt used to work last week, and the prompt I tried right now used to work 2 days back. So here, the real prompt was, we gave ChatGPT an actual URL. We gave ChatGPT an actual URL, and it really, from the URL, identified the companies. It even gave the answer back to us in a tabular form, like a data frame. And this was the output from ChatGPT. This is a screenshot. We haven't made it up. So you can see that 1 week back, when we were preparing these decks, this was the deck we had prepared a week back. We actually got a URL input to ChatGPT and a nice sentiment score by sentence, and that too in a tabular format. Now, 3 days back, I tried. I didn't get the URL, but it could give me the sentiment score. Today, it's refusing to give me the sentiment score. So what I'm trying to say is, as we learn about ChatGPT in the webinar, be mindful that OpenAI is pulling back a lot of its features. So you have to be careful as to what kind of prompt you give. And it's already taken back its web scraping capabilities, but maybe some other capabilities are still there, which we can leverage. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say, that, you know, it could be for various reasons, but there is a caveat to what it can do and what it can do today, and that's changing. The next use case I have, folks, is for the marketing people, and it's based on something called search engine optimization. I'm going to give you a very brief on what SEO is all about, and I'm sure a lot of you do know what SEO is. Let's say I am a company, I am a new company, and I am advertising my product on Amazon. Okay. Now, I am not good at writing an advert. So I just write a text description on Amazon, and I hope that, let's say, when people search for some kind, let's say I'm selling healthy green teas. So when people search for green teas or healthy green teas, they will be directed to my Amazon page. Well, it doesn't happen that way, because the search engines, the way they direct you, the way they rank a page, depends on a lot of metadata and scoring of the pages. Now, a person who's proficient in doing that will probably charge a bomb and write you a very perfect ad, which you will then put in your landing page. Now, let's see of such a company. There is a company called Fiverr, which is this company here, which says that I will write amazing Amazon, or I will write Amazon product description and listing which sells. They charge close to 4,700 rupees for one description. They take 4 days to deliver, and that's how much time and money would go if you were to approach a professional company. Now, as an example, look at this product in Amazon. It's a men's perfume, but look at the text. Look at the text here. You know, it's just a continuous block of text, and, you know, it just has a few keywords, but it's not really properly framed, right? So what we want to do is we want to launch our imaginary product, which is a fantastic health drink, some super special green tea, and we want to get a page which sells. Okay. So here, what we want to do, guys, is we want to create a SEO landing page for a product to be advertised on Amazon. The product is a health green tea, emphasize and SEO optimize on keywords: health, drink, tea, vitality, energy, and heart. Please, may I request the moderator to post this prompt in the chat so people can try it out and see for themselves. I have a question from Mainak Biswas. Mainak, there is no documentation on what is being curbed. It's just like, it's a nightmare, guys. I make a deck for a public webinar 3 days back. I log in yesterday night to test, and things don't work. They are not saying what is being curbed. They're pulling back stuff very, very fast. Okay, so I would suggest that keep trying different things out and see what works, what not works. My guess is they want to make us jump onto the paid version of Chatgpt, and maybe they want to promote GPT-4 and Bling. Maybe that's the reason why stuff which used to work a week ago doesn't work today. Stuff which used to work 3 days back doesn't work today. But do try out this SEO thing, and I'll show you in a while why is it SEO optimized. First thing you will see, repeated use of the keywords: vitality, health, refreshing, easy to brew, premium ingredients, customer satisfaction. So it also gives you a reason why this text, this output is SEO optimized, right? So this is why we have yes, Karthik, we should look at other LLMs that are really free. The point is, nothing is really free, and I'll tell you in a moment why. Every of these LLMs which have been developed are having a lot of background work which goes in. They will tempt you. They will create an ecosystem where you will be so craving for this technology that you will forget for a while that they're going to pull the plugs. What is happening with ChatGPT will happen with other free LLMs very, very soon. So the best idea is, let's learn what it can do, let's learn what it can't, and let's learn how it can do, and then use our human judgment in going further. Okay, so let's take a breather now, guys. And now you've seen by now a little bit of what ChatGPT can do, a little bit of what it could do last week, and what it's doing today, right? Yes, the session is being recorded. So do not worry if somebody has to leave for a doctor's appointment or any other thing. Do not worry. The session is being recorded and we will provide you with a recorded link. So please do not worry if you have to leave right now. Okay, now when we were doing this, we got requests from some very senior people in the industry that, I had a personal request, by the way. I'm not naming the person, but I had a personal request from a very senior leader that please also include a bit of math. And that's when we got a bit scared. Hey, this is a public webinar and this is mostly a hands-on session. Not everybody may appreciate the math. But then when we thought that, hey, you know what? Let's give you the complexity also. You wanted to see that, you wanted to check all the LLMs which are free. Let me give you a reason why I would not want this technology to be free for long. Let me give you a reason for that. Okay, let's quickly yeah. So I have another question that ChatGPT is trained till 2021. Well, here is the catch. I am not asking ChatGPT for a temporal solution. I am giving it a text and I'm trying to analyze an output. So your question is very well put that it can't do things beyond 2021. Well, I could have done a product on green tea in 2020, in 2019. It's not temporal. So it should work for perfectly well. It's just that they're pulling the plugs from the background. Okay. Now I want you guys to put in the chat an answer to my question. My question to all the audience here is, suppose, and you don't have to give the prompt, I just want to hear your thoughts. Suppose you give a prompt like this to any LLM. The first person to walk on the moon was. Let's assume it responds with Neil Armstrong. Can you tell me yes or no, or what do you think, that are we asking the LLM who the first person to walk on the moon? Yes, no, or any other answer? Okay, I have an answer. Shatadru says no. Arijit Ghosh says maybe. Abhik Sarkar says no. Everybody is now jumping on to the no. Okay, do you guys also have an answer as to why no? I mean, to me, it seems simple. I'm asking the first person to walk on the moon was, and, ChatGPT knows all the general knowledge in the open world. So it should be able to answer pretty well. Fill in the blanks, predict the next word. Well, yes, Anvesh, perfectly bang on. Based on the text in the input, slightly okay. Slightly okay, Anvesh, slightly okay. But you are bang on. You are right there where we wanted you to be. Okay, what are we asking, guys? We are not asking the first person to walk on the moon was, and we expect Neil Armstrong. No, we are saying that given the statistical distribution of words in the public corpus, means the words which LLMs have been trained on, if that is your base, what is the most likely word to follow the sequence the first person to walk on the moon was? And it happens to be the words is Neil Armstrong. Okay, so that is here. So we are not asking a name. We are not asking a general knowledge question. What we are asking is, based on your statistical learning, I give you a sequence of words, give me the next statistical highest probability answer. And that answer happens to be Neil Armstrong. Now, here, guys, I want to point your attention to three things: statistical distribution, public corpus, and the word sequence. Okay, now, where did this ChatGPT learn so much, or what is the training database? Some of you may know it already. It's been trained on social media posts, academic papers, public web pages, Wikipedia, books, a lot of open source English language text. Okay, now coming to the math, and again, as I said, this is not a math class. I am not your maths teacher for the day, but because we had a request coming in from a lot of senior folks, I just want to flash the math here and not want to bore you with the formulas. That given the set of all words in the English language and considering a sequence, let's try to understand how this works. As I said, it's learning the probability distribution, meaning the probability distribution of all the sentences would be 1. So that's the entire set. What it's learning is with a very simple example from Markov chains, and I'm not going into Markov chains. What I'm going into is explaining you the concept very simply. So the concept of n-grams. Consider a very simple English statement like Rajesh is a nice person. He will help you out as much as possible within his limits. Let's say this is your English statement. A unigram is taking 1 word at a time. A bigram is taking 2 consecutive words at a time. And a trigram is taking 3 consecutive words at a time. So all these 3 words, and in the entire corpus, if you do like this, you will get a set of 3 from which you will be able to come up with a probability of the third word given the second word is so and so and the third word is so and so. I mean, the back words are so and so. So basically what a language model does is learn the distribution given a word W in front of you. What is the probability of the word W? If you give it the word U comma V, so that U comma V is your prior 2 words, or that is your sequence of the words, what is the probability to get the word W? Now, the same thing I'll present in a non-mathematical way here, which is a very simple statement. Now, this slide tells you the mind-boggling volume of literature where Chatgpt has been trained on, and that's the corpus for GPT-3. Now let's see in a layman's way, how does it train? So assume that it's being trained on all the open literature, and you prompt the cat sat on the. Okay. Now, probably in literature, the next word could be, well, very less chance it's going to be giraffe. Cats sit on the table sometimes. Fridge, yes. A lot of the literature would have the cat sat on the mat. Okay, so these are all hypothetical values, but let's assume that it picks up the highest probability value. So it gives you the cat sat on the mat as your output. This is the layman's explanation, folks. Okay, that was the math, and this is the layman's explanation. That still doesn't solve my question or answer. How is ChatGPT able to generate an entire paragraph, guys? Well, that's really interesting. Okay, let's assume that we give ChatGPT the following: sisters and brothers of, and let's say that the output comes to be America. It puts that America back in and runs an iterative, and maybe it gets the next word as it, puts it back and keeps running this till somewhere in its algorithm it is trained to stop. Okay, and that's how it generates the paragraphs. Now my question to you guys is, do you know what this prompt or this paragraph is coming from? Let's see in chat. Mainak, I'll take your question a second. I just want to see from you guys, do you know what this paragraph is, this statement? Where is it taken from? Anybody? Anyone? Yes. Yes, perfect. It's the Chicago address. That's perfect. It is the Chicago speech, the famous Chicago speech. Yes. To answer Mainak's question, Mainak, if it is not trained on a corpus, it will give answers which are nonsensical. Okay, and it's a disclaimer by ChatGPT that sometimes it gives nonsensical answers. So there is no magic in it, Mainak. It is just as good as what it has been trained on, nothing more. Okay, so we know what happens. We've seen what happens. Let's try to see how it has happened. Now, GPT, right? GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. Let's understand generative. You know, a lot of buzz is going around in the world. about generative AI. ChatGPT is one component of generative AI, but what really is the word generative? On your left-hand side, you see pictures of three images of horses. The first one is a beautiful horse facing in a certain angle. The second is a side view. The third is two brown horses, probably, having some kind of an intimacy with each other. Now, what happens is in a generative model, the input is sampled, a random perturbation is added, and you don't recreate the old sample, you create a new sample. So what could come out, and this is schematically shown to you, is a picture of wild horses running, and they may be gray and white in color for that matter, and they may be in any different angles, right? So the model learns what's an angle, what's a color, punches it in, perturbs it out, and generates results. Okay. Now, what happens is that a lot of this generative AI is working on these perturbations and generating images. So what may look magical to us is, how on earth is it creating a person who does not exist? Well, what it does is it learns the faces, the different aspects ratios of the features, it perturbs them and creates a new face. That's how it does it. Okay, a little bit about the structure of the ChatGPT stuff under the hood. So you have a massive pre-training which is going on, and then you have a transformer. We will come to it, and then that's what GPT-3 model goes on into, and then it's fine-tuned into conversational tasks. There is an instruct GPT layer, which is a human layer, which has been put on top of the GPT layer to give a feedback, and that's how they correct the machine feedback with human feedback through reinforcement learning, and that's how ChatGPT's form came into being. Okay, so gonna quickly check the, yeah, okay. Now, what we will do is, please look here and try to gauge how much of the complexity which goes under the hood. Now, we are not, again, I repeat, not going into transformer theory. That's beyond the scope of this webinar, but I do want to give you a glimpse and a fair glimpse of the complexity involved. Here you have a sentence, Optimus Prime is a cool robot. You have the output in Chinese. Now, how does this happen, right? So there is a set of algorithms, a set of, let's say, a transformer which works in between, which takes the input sequence, processes it through a encoder, which is basically a stack of neural networks, a special type of neural network. It processes the output. The output gets to another stack of neural networks, which is called the decoder. It then processes the output sequence from the encoder and gives you at every time step a output which is the right sequence in the target language. So the target language could be German, Chinese, Japanese. It could have its own language subtleties, but it is not a word-to-word translation. It's a sequence-to-sequence translation which happens. Okay, to give you a complexity of what transformers are, and yes, they are not Autobots, you would have to pay attention to concepts like attention, encoders, decoders, and positional encoding. So these are features which are very primary for this kind of tasks. Again, we are not going into the details of this, but at a high level, I can say that this deals with the concept of A, the sequence of the sentence which you are putting in, B, the fact that a particular word in the sequence can mean a lot with respect to the other words. The adjectives and pronouns may qualify, more importantly, a certain word than the rest. The position of the words are important, and all of these are addressed by transformer theory. Now, as I said, it's a complex theory, and this is beyond the scope of this introductory webinar to ChatGPT, but maybe that's for another day, folks. Okay, we will go back to more use cases. All right. Now, guys, we have another use case coming up. This is mostly for all of us who have been into the hiring, right? Often, even I have done and I've gone through this pain. So often what happens is we are supposed to shortlist resumes and we get a ton of resumes, especially in the data science world today. And we have to shortlist it versus our job description. Well, let's see if we can take help from ChatGPT to do it. May I request the admin to put this prompt in the chat? The prompt is as follows. I have a job description for a data analyst role in my company. Also, I got a resume of the candidate. Please provide a percentage match of the skill sets the candidate has with respect to that needed by the description. Now, what happens is ChatGPT will ask you for the job description. So you will say, please consider the job description as mentioned below, and you're going to paste any JD there. It could be a JD which you have received in your company. We have a dummy JD for you guys. You could paste that. May I request the moderators to paste that? And you are then going to ask, please consider the resume and give me a percentage match of the skill set. And then you want to paste a resume. We also have a resume of a certain Mr. X. I can request the moderators to paste that for you. Once you paste that, and you will see ChatGPT actually runs the magic and gives you a percentage number of the match. It also gives you some other summarization on the resume. So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, you could think of a way to maybe commercialize this one and go for a method where you could feed these resumes and JDs in an automated way to ChatGPT and get a output. It might save a lot of your time, right? Excuse me. Well, the next use case we'll jump upon is on the legal side. Are there any practicing lawyers or anybody associated with the legal profession in this group? A yes or a no from you guys? Anyone here? It's okay if there's any HR or legal person here, just say hello. Yes, I'm there. So I know that I'm kind of addressing one use case on the legal side. So I'll go ahead with the use case. So often, guys, and this is very often in for people renting houses or going for some kind of a contract. We are in a hurry and we kind of sign a contract without really understanding the risks. So the best decision is to always consult a legal person. Often we may not want to. It's costly, it's expensive, it's time consuming. For small stuff, we may ignore. But here is the catch. There are often fine prints which we avoid, which we don't notice. Now, we have a wedding planner contract here, and I am asking ChatGPT, can you please help me guide the possible risks in the contract below? And then I will be pasting the contract. We actually have the prompt and the contract for you guys. So I'll request the moderators and the admins to please paste the chat for this as well. And I already have a screenshot for it. So you can see the output in the deck and I need not toggle between my screens. So I will show you the output. It has actually been able to summarize a pretty nasty contract, nasty in the sense, lengthy contract, and it has pointed out where could be the possible risks. Now, you guys could go ahead and fine tune your query to type what are the risks for me as the planner. It would probably even fine tune the result for the planner, right? So a lot of us are signing contracts for freelance jobs, for rental stuff, and we kind of don't really understand the legal language a lot. This can help. But however, let me give you a caveat. If you were to do it today, ChatGPT is going to start with a disclaimer that you should consult a legal professional. It is going to end with a disclaimer that you should consult a legal professional, and so will I. It may at best give you a glimpse of it, but if it's a really serious document, you should double check with a legal professional. But it does give you a good summary and it does point out the risks. That is what I'm intending to say here. Can the moderators please paste the whole contract here, just in case our audience wants to try that out? Please try if you can, that will be helpful. Or you could, guys, if you have any kind of contract, you could also do it offline, no problem. Okay. So here you see ChatGPT says, it is note that it's not a list of all the risks and you may wish to consult a legal professional to review the contract. Okay. So we are now coming to the use cases which are for the data science coders and analysts. Yes, we have kept you waiting for long. So sorry for keeping you waiting. Let's jump right in. We'll cover you very quickly with one example in Excel, and the one and the rest are the same. And we'll also give you a caveat, which we kind of discovered while preparing this text. Okay, so how do you integrate ChatGPT into Excel? Pretty easy peasy. Open Excel and go to Office add-ins. And again, I repeat, you don't have to do it at runtime. This is a recorded seminar. If you can do it, well and good. If you can't, just hear us out. Go to the Excel add-ins. Select in the search ChatGPT for Excel and add this particular icon, this one, which is ChatGPT for Excel. Once you do that, you will find your icon coming here in ChatGPT for Excel. Now, once that comes up here, it will ask you for your API key, and it will ask you for your API key, and you can give your API key here and apply, and then you are live. Okay, you are live. And once you are live, you can ask for a formula like this: equal to AI.ask parenthesis quotes, what is the sum formula in Excel? Let's say you don't know how to sum a column or any other complex formula. It will actually give you a result like this. The sum formula in Excel is equal to sum, well, whatever it is, right? It will give you a result. Okay. Now, what I want to show you is sometimes when you actually try this out, guys, what happens is you may face a little bit of difficulties with the free version. There will be things like the Excel formula shows something like a value, it doesn't work, stuff like that. You will see stuff like that happening. Okay, so I'm going to try and see if I can really try it out. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can try it out with my API key. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but let's see if I can try it out. Okay, so I'm going to open a cell here and I'm going to type equal to AI.ask. Okay, and I'm going to put a very simple prompt here: how to sum column, how to sum the data in cells. Just let's say for an example, C2 through C6. Okay, just a simple question here. Okay, now often you will see it's showing busy and this hash value. This means that the ChatGPT traffic is very high and it doesn't give you an answer. Often this happens. Don't worry, try after some time. This is a common problem which we have faced, and that's why you see that I have a screenshot of the stuff which I wanted to show. Another thing I want to show you is a challenge which has been discovered by us in ChatGPT. Look at this column here, guys. It's a house number, and you see there are 5 cells which have data. If you see more clearly, out of those 5 cells, 2 cells are numeric, the rest 3 are alphanumeric. The answer I want is how to count entries in the column B2 through B7. The output from ChatGPT is, use this formula, equal to count range, so equal to count B2, B7. I blindly followed ChatGPT and I put the formula here and my result is 2. It's not the right answer. It is not giving me the count of the data. The right answer is equal to count A B2 colon B7, which gives me the number 5. It also counts the alphanumeric part. Why I am showing this example to you guys is Sometimes ChatGPT does not give you the right technical answer, but a nearby answer. So you need to have some knowledge of Excel. What it will save you is the labor and the memory and the work of searching for formulas, but it can go wrong. This is an example of where we found it to go a little haywire. Okay, so that is why I wanted to show you this one. Okay, coming to the next one, guys, is ChatGPT integration with Google Colab. Just give me a second here, please. I'm just going to come back to the slide where we should be. Hold on. Yeah, so we covered Excel. We are going to Colab. Now, again, I repeat, you don't have to do it live, but if you can, great. We are going steady. But for the sake of time, I'm just saying that you can click on this Google Colab. You open your Google, you click on the 3 dots and go to settings. In settings, you go to extensions. This is a Chrome extension. And you search in the Chrome store for ChatGPT extension for Google Colab. This is the icon. This is what you want to install. Assuming that you have installed it, you add to Chrome, it comes in your Chrome profile. Once it comes in your Google Chrome, all you got to do is open a Colab notebook. Once you open a Colab notebook, you hover your cursor somewhere in the middle of the Colab notebook, you will get a ChatGPT button like that. Click on that ChatGPT button and you will get a prompt to ask or prompt anything. Here in this prompt, we ask ChatGPT, write a Python function to add 2 numbers, and it pretty well gave the whole code. And we could just get the code from here and go on with our coding. Now, I leave it to you guys to experiment what detail of coding you want, but pretty much if you are a beginner in Python, you can again start with this ChatGPT integrated Colab and make your life a little easier. The caveat is, yes, you need to know Python, but you need not remember all the syntax or the logic, but you do need to know Python. It may sometimes give a code which is probably not the optimal or not the best solution, right? So that's where I've been talking of the limitations of ChatGPT now. So sometimes ChatGPT delivers incorrect information. Sometimes it gives some information which may be nonsensical as well. So beware of the limitations of ChatGPT. We covered some of the places where we could monetize ChatGPT, but since you want to monetize it, use its power, OpenAI is cutting down on the freebies. So beware of that. Coming down bit to the evolution of ChatGPT. So it started way back with the transformers, attention models, went on to generative models, GPT-2, GPT-3, Instruct GPT. That's where it got the reinforcement learning from the human feedback. Then the modern version of ChatGPT trained till 2021. The question is, where are we today? What's OpenAI doing? What is happening right now? Well, ChatGPT is being incorporated in quadrillion amount of apps in communication, travel, finance. This gives you just a glimpse of it. There are more probably. So everybody's trying to integrate ChatGPT into some of their products, but that's only the text part of the landscape, folks. The bigger picture, the elephant in the room is generative AI. Generative AI today is the mammoth which we should think about. And Bing is already running OpenAI's GPT-4. Something I want you to test, not today, but maybe after the webinar, is if you have Bing and if you have GPT-4, again, it's a paid access. I don't know if you have a free access. Try generating an image with the free access. It seems they have pulled back that as well from the free version. So basically, it's changing super fast. It's changing by the time the deck was prepared and by the time I'm delivering the lecture today, things are changing. A little info here on GPT-4. It's more advanced than GPT-3. It's multimodal, can handle image recognition and more stuff. It's better at understanding the language. Now, do we need to stop our discussion with ChatGPT? No, we would continue, but maybe not in this webinar. Feel free to reach out to us on interests you have in generative AI. keep keep in touch, keep looking at our website. We will be coming up with more works in the area of generative AI. This is a collection of what's going on in the generative AI world. Again, as I said, this deck, this content is going to be recorded and posted, so you need not worry about taking notes. You will get all of it, so don't worry about it, guys. With that, I kind of pause and kind of end my talk here today, and I want to take 1 minute to take a few seconds to thank our founder Ujjani for hosting and bringing us all together. Over to you, Ujjani, for any comments, and I want to thank the audience for taking your time on a Saturday and being with us.
Thanks, Anish. This is, well concluded within the time. We still have 2 more minutes. We actually received very interesting questions, and thanks everyone for joining, particularly for the organizations. If you see value, Setu can actually conduct very custom courses for your freshers, for your people in your my mid-management and senior leaders. We are absolutely coming up with very very interesting products. Keep looking at our website, and please share your feedback. I think that would be very helpful. There is a mitra@setuschool.com. That's an email ID. Any one of you, please feel free to share your feedback. And this is our start. We want to bring everything that is best in this domain, so that industry gets the best talent. So thanks everyone. There is a small link, a Google Doc link. If all of you please just click to that. We still have 1 minute, and put your feedback into that. I think that will be very helpful for our next sessions. Just take 1 minute before you drop off. Please put your feedback. Will take not even more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, and while you're taking your feedback, let me add to it that the world of generative AI is just about to explode. Chatgpt was yesterday. Believe me, we prepared this deck over 3 weeks, but Chatgpt was yesterday. What is gonna be tomorrow is exciting. GPT-4 is already there. And to really understand what's happening, we would require a little bit of knowledge of something called large language models and the theory and the construction behind the magic. Okay, so I would request you guys to keep following our webpage and look at the exciting new stuff we will offer very soon in the space of generative AI. And remember, there is no such thing as magic in this world. As a scientist, I think math itself is magic. Math is the magic behind everything. So, I want to end my saying that there is no magic, it's just math.
Okay, so we are at the end of the webinar. We are at 12. We are able to close it on time. Thanks once again. Stay tuned for our next ones. Goodbye, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.